What's happened is that Putin looks at Biden, he sized him up, he thinks he can get away with it, and he's going to keep going and going and going, and nobody in the West is going to stop him. How does this end? Somebody in Russia has to step up to the plate. Is there Brutus in Russia? Is there a more successful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military? The only way this ends, my friend, is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out. You would be doing your country a great service and the world a great service.
Lindsey Graham thinks that Putin should be assassinated. Not only does he believe that Putin should be assassinated, he thinks that somebody from Russia should actually do, or rather carry out, the assassination. He believes that they will be a hero. Now, I heard this and I think that they're just putting that spice out there. So if Putin does get assassinated, they'd be like, oh, a Russian did it. There was apparently a Russian millionaire that put a bounty on Putin's head for M. But okay. I think all of this is in conjunction, because if Putin does get assassinated, it's going to be one of them niggas from the West. It's going to be an American. It's something like that. And they're just going to try to shift the blame on one of the Russians. But I guess the question that I ask is this. If you are made to look like a fool on the world stage, every single country is laughing at you. What you are doing, the beef you started, you are failing. It's like trying to start a fight with a nigga and he knocks you out. But some people are worried that Putin is being pushed into a corner, and that might be like, all right, you guys think I'm a bitch? Let's see how much I'm a bitch now. Takes out the cell phone and punches in them codes.
Right.
So if you think he is capable of doing that because of his own insecurities, right? Do you think that he should get assassinated?
Man, it's honestly, it's tough speaking about this, being like involved in it, but from the outside.
Yeah, we're very removed.
It's tough. It's really tough. You know what I mean? Because there could be things going on in these countries that's not reported in the news that we will never, ever hear about, you know? And while I do have Ukrainian friends and Russian friends, there's three sides to every story. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't trust my friends and what they're saying, but obviously Ukrainians are going to feel one way. Russians are going to feel a different way. And then there's going to be some stuff that's misconstrued or taken in the wrong, you know what I'm saying? So it makes it really tough to talk about this, and especially talk about assassinating Putin. But if we're talking about somebody who is willing to unleash nuclear weapons on the world, well, first of all, $1 million on Putin's head is disrespectful.
I know,
that's just disrespectful. Yeah. That was somebody just trying to get into the news. That's disrespectful. But if it's talking about getting rid of somebody like that, I mean, am I right to feel like I should be able to have control over somebody's life and the decision that's made in that case? No. But do I want him assassinated if that's what he's thinking? Yeah. Why? Because I like living. And I really do, man. I like breathing, you know. I like going out. I just got used to it, you know. I got used to it, you know. I really like it. And number two, I don't have enough money for a bunker, you know. I don't. A hazmat suit is not something I think I would even know where to find unless it's on Amazon, you know. So nuclear weapon war, I'm not worried about the blast necessarily as much as I'm worried about the radioactivity that's going to be penetrating the earth. And they're already talking about global warming and all these other things happening, you know. So he definitely needs to go if that's what the case is. But I feel like if it does get to that situation where people feel like he's really serious about this, somebody's going to do it for us anyways.
But do you think that this is the old switcheroo? It's the okie doke. They're trying to put the vibes out there. Like if it does get carried out, it's going to be carried out by a Russian, but really it's going to be somebody else. Because you got to think about this, right? Really and truly think about it. Say, for example, Trudeau. A lot of people don't like Trudeau, but a lot of people love Trudeau. Also, a lot of people are just very effing patriotic. So in other words, if another country assassinates our country's leader, whether I like Trudeau or not, bro, you just stepped in the wrong backyard. So I think that they're trying to put the vibes out there that if it does happen, it wasn't done by us. It was done by one of y'all because you guys are tired of them. So that's what that's what I think. I don't think that.
I mean, they could put out whatever damn narrative they want, man. If Homeboy is caught, we're gonna figure out where he's from, right? He might not ever get caught.
You don't mean to tell me that somebody just can't take the blame? Somebody can just take the blame. Yo, listen.
If there might be a citizen out there who's willing to do it. There might be somebody out there who's willing to. What is it? John Wilkes Booth his ass.
Putin said that any of the Russian soldiers that get killed, their families are getting 60 grand. Any one of them that get injured, I think it was like 20 or 40 grand. It may be 20. This is what Putin said. So because again, according to the media, and remember, I'm watching Western media. I've kind of gotten to a more international one as well, but I haven't watched it enough to really speak to it. But the Western media obviously has a narrative. They want to make it look like Putin is failing, he's incompetent, and this was a huge mistake. And it might be. I don't know. I'm not on the ground, right? I'm not there. But I say all that to say this, that if Putin goes, right, from what I see from the Western side, Russians, please correct me, especially if you win Russia. From what they're showing us, y'all are going to be really happy. That's what they're telling us. That's what I get from it, that the Russians will be elated. They're going to be celebrating. It's going to be a national holiday because even with this war, with all the sanctions and everything, Putin's putting his country in a corner. Nobody wants to work with them.
Right.
So that's the narrative, Russia or Russians, that we're getting. I want to know if this is true.
Because random story here. So I was taking the bus to go grab a haircut. And one of the buses that I took, I was the only person on the bus, right? So I got on the bus and I started walking towards the back, and the bus driver, asked me how my day was going. And I just said, long day. And he started telling me a story, and I didn't realize till I got to like a little bit further. Then I turned around, came back. Turns out my bus driver was Russian.
Yeah.
He started talking to me about what's going on in Ukraine. He started telling me things that I wasn't hearing in the news, that I didn't hear in the news before. And I'm hearing now a story from the perspective of a Russian, as opposed to the world, which is telling the story from the perspective of the Ukraine.
Right.
Is what I'm gathering, right?
Yeah.
And what he's telling me is there's a lot of other things that the US and these other countries did other than these sanctions, that Putin pretty much said, if you do this, you're going to force my hand. And they still chose to do it. There were certain borders that he was saying, this bus driver, that Putin said, if you put troops on those borders, you're going to put pressure on me to do these things. And I don't want to. So just don't put those troops there. And they still did. And I'm talking about NATO. He was saying NATO had troops in certain areas where they were saying they were just trying to protect the peace. But Putin said, don't put them there. Allow me, give me my space. So, it was interesting for me because obviously I don't have a side on this. I would love to pick a side on this, but I feel like I'm being forced to pick a side with the news that I'm getting. Well, and I don't like that.
Well, look, you know what? I can tell you that I have a side. Okay. And when I say I have a side because I favor a certain type of government style. I have nothing against Russians. I have nothing against Ukraine. I don't know any of these niggas personally. I just like, if I have to live in a place where the country's run by a government, I prefer a democratic one. And also, just as a person, again, pardon my ignorance on the history between these two. I know there was conflict. Obviously, hey, they separated, right? So I'm aware of that. But what I'm saying, though, is if I just see somebody walking down the street, minding their business, I'm not going to punch them in the face. Like, that's what it looks like. It just looks like Russia just say, hey, how's it going? Ukraine was like, I'm just having a great day. Bam! Punch in the face for nothing. So, I mean, if I have to choose a side, I choose the democratic process. And I'm not into punching people in the face randomly. And that's what this looks like.
Right.
Nothing personal against the citizens of these two countries. Nothing at all. Nothing. You know?
I want to say this, so I have a timestamp for all the people in the comments who are going to say that we need to get our facts straight or that we're idiots or all those people. I want to say it now. Just in case you missed it, I said it already. We are not Russian or Ukrainian. Most of the news that I'm getting is from the news that I have available to me, which is westernized. I don't know what's involved. So when I say that I can't pick a side, it's not because I don't want to, it's not because I don't have it. It's because the information that I'm getting, I know is not the full information that I need to receive in order to pick a side. So I'm just neutral. I'm just reporting from a general view. If you can't respect that, that's unfortunate. I'm not saying that I want Russia to win. I'm not saying I want Ukraine to win. I'm saying I want this to be resolved peacefully. Yep. Hopefully in some ways get resolved peacefully. And until then, I don't have a side that I'm on. I'm just reporting on what I hear. If you don't like it, well, I don't know what to tell you. Timestamp done.
I could tell you something though. Please do like, please do subscribe, share your comments. Again, to his point, I'm sure we're missing a lot. Like a lot. So enlighten us. Leave it in the comments, especially if you're native to these countries. All right. Again, just to kind of double up on what you were saying, wish and pray to God that this thing gets resolved peacefully. Expedite this shit. Let it get done now, yesterday. All right.
Right.
Deuces.